Well, happy Monday to all of you as we continue in our devotions through the teachings of Jesus in Matthew chapter 5 called the Beatitudes. And today we're in Matthew chapter 5, verse 6 through 8, where Jesus taught, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. And blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." There's something powerful in this section of scripture that really talks about kind of the fruit of what it looks like living the way of Jesus. That those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, it's a sense that we lack justice, and that word for righteousness can be translated justice. We don't experience God's justice in our world, and so we hunger for it. You don't hunger for something unless you're hungry, right? You don't thirst after something unless you're thirsty. And there's this sense that we're not experiencing justice and righteousness in our world, and so we hunger for it. And those in God's kingdom hunger and thirst for righteousness, but they also will be satisfied. And there's a little bit of a conflict in me about this because we're not always satisfied right away, because we live in a broken world and we don't always experience justice. And so Jesus is encouraging those who follow the way of Jesus to keep hungering and thirsting for it, keep fighting for it, keep working for God's justice in our land, because eventually one day we will be satisfied. He goes on, the merciful, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. There's something here interesting that in the scriptures you see, be merciful and then you'll receive mercy. Forgive, Jesus taught in another place, and you will be forgiven. It's almost like this idea that you'll get what you give. Now that's not always true. The only difference is love. We love because we were loved, Jesus said. I think Paul wrote that he first loved us, so we love. But in most every other case besides love, there is kind of like conditional, like you'll be forgiven if you're willing to forgive. You'll receive mercy if you're willing to give mercy. And I think that's really powerful as we think about the way of Jesus, is that there are some things that are actually conditional, that we will not receive mercy unless we give mercy. And God is a God of justice, right? And so he will do what is just. And because of my sin, the penalty for my own sin in my life is God's justice to bear on my life, and yet he gives me mercy. He shows me mercy when I am willing to show others mercy. So as you think about this, you think about who are the people that don't deserve mercy. That's who gets mercy. Mercy is, I love this, that grace, I heard this, grace is a gift that we don't deserve, while mercy is not getting the punishment we deserve. So there are people in this world that don't deserve mercy. And Jesus's way is to give mercy to those even who don't deserve it. And that's a hard one, I think, for many Christians, for just the world in general. It's backwards, right? It's different. It's upside down. And then this last one, the pure in heart shall see God. Motives are important, and this really gets to the motives of our heart. Why do we pursue God? Why do we go after his way? Is it to get something of benefit in our own lives? Is that the only reason that we pursue God, is so that we'll be blessed in our lives? And Jesus is saying, listen, the pure in heart, those who have right motives, will see me. They'll get access to me. Those who desire God's kingdom and the benefits of God's kingdom for the right reasons, they will get something from it. But those who pursue God for the wrong reasons, to get something out of it for themselves, then they will not see God. See, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal in pursuing God's kingdom and living by the Beatitudes that Jesus teaches is not so that our lives would be blessed. I mean, Jesus is saying that this is a byproduct of living that way, is to be blessed, but that's not the reason why we pursue it. Jesus is trying to show us that those who pursue him for right reasons, to learn and to grow and to become more like him and to represent him well in this world, then these people will see God. And so I want you to ask yourself, how do you represent God's kingdom today? How well are you representing God's kingdom? Do you hunger and thirst for God's justice in this world? Are you merciful towards those who may not deserve mercy? Is your approach to God and his kingdom with a pure heart and right motives? All of us can work on things, that's for sure. All of us can work on things. And so today I want you to think about what's the one thing in this list of Beatitudes that I can work on? Is it to be more merciful? Is it to fight for God's justice? Is it to check my motives? And I encourage you to ask the Lord for grace and wisdom today as you allow his Spirit to work in your life. Have a great day.